Hey, welcome to Butcher Bay Rejects. I'm Mark.
I'm Greg. How you doing this week, nerds?
What's up, bud? What's up?
Not much, not much. I watched, we're going to cover She-Hulk. I actually watched it twice because I got such a kick out of that show. So, of course,
Same here.
Disney only gave us one episode. I don't know how they decide. We'll give you 3 here, 1 there, 2 here. I don't know how they do it. Maybe it's because there's going to be 9 or 10 episodes of this show. So maybe they're trying to, parse it out there. But at any rate, since it was a slow, I guess, entertainment week, Mark and I brought back the challenge. So we were talking baseball movies last week, and I said Mark had never seen Moneyball, so I suggested that, and he suggested Vox Machina. He said watch 2 episodes. I actually watched 4 to equal the 2 hours that he watched. So we'll have a review of She-Hulk, Attorney Law, Moneyball, Vox Machina. What do you want to start with first? Choice is yours, sir.
Well, let's start with She-Hulk. That's the newest one because and we had. I mean, obviously, you had a great reaction to it. I had a great reaction to it.
Oh yeah.
So let's jump into that.
Yeah, I I do have a thing for green-skinned women, and just add She-Hulk now to the list. I'm happy another Canadian Marvel superhero. Tatiana's from Saskatchewan, so we got Simu Liu, Shang-Chi. We got Miss Marvel, and now I'm always happy when a Canadian superhero comes forward, even though she doesn't want to be a superhero. But
I was surprised that they got most of the trailer into the first episode.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of stuff they left out, like the whole brilliant, and yes, Chris Evans has already responded by a tweet about this whole, she's sad that Captain America died a virgin, and like
that was a great
and of course the button on the end with the end credits scene, like Jesus. But Chris Evans has already responded in a tweet so you've seen it.
Well, I was trying to figure out, okay, the trailer, are they spacing this out? Are we going to see a whole lot? And like they covered most of it in the first episode. So I'm, these next 9 episodes are mostly blank. I don't know what's going to happen, and I'm kind of like really jazzed to see what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get Daredevil in this episode, but he was, part of him was featured in the trailer, I guess.
Oh no, I an Abomination, and obviously there's going to be a trial of Blonsky, but I mean it's still a good portion, like all I figured the training aspect of her would last 3 episodes.
Yeah, I was looking forward to that too because of where they were in Mexico, and they even had them fight, which I wasn't counting on, right? I mean,
I loved the sibling rivalry connection that they had. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it would have been nice in a previous Marvel movie if he just mentioned her in a throwaway line, something about my cousin. Because they mentioned the lab in Endgame, where he says like I spent 18 months working on this stuff. So it would have been nice, just one movie, a throwaway line to get us salivating. Oh, Jennifer Walters, my cousin Jennifer. That's all he had to say. But
if you're looking for a lawyer, my cousin's a lawyer. So
see you later, litigator. And they even brought back the my favorite superhero movies of all time, Incredible Hulk. They brought back the clap there. The Hulk.
Oh yeah.
The Hulk does, and then echoing the same movie, she does hers with sound waves, which kind of incapacitates him for a bit.
Oh yeah, no, I loved how they were. That whole them fighting each other, like they're growling at each other. It was great. I loved it. And she's besting him, and he's getting more frustrated. But you realize he doesn't. We don't know that she's just as strong as him. Because I think he does hold back a little bit. Well, he didn't when she beat him with the first boulder throw. He had to throw his into orbit and break the sound barrier and all. Yeah.
And then pushes her off the cliff. Okay.
Did you like the setup for World War Hulk?
What do you mean?
The Sicarian messenger ship.
Yeah, that's the first time since Ragnarok that they've mentioned Sakaar, I think. So yeah, I mean, I didn't read. I kind of didn't want to read too much into it, but at the same time, obviously they're going to reference that again. I mean, ship is just there.
My prediction, and I'm putting this out now, they're going to come and kidnap him, bring him back to Sakaar, and then he has to fight his way out to be independent, and he leads a revolution. And
Oh, really?
I think that's the way it's going to go.
Well, I wouldn't mind. I love, I always thought, when I saw Planet Hulk, I thought the animated one, this would be such a good movie if they could do it. And of course,
Exactly.
we got part of it in Ragnarok, but yeah. I'm all for that if that's the case.
Yeah, I think if they bring him back and go that Planet Hulk route, and he's got to fight his way back, and he's kind of has to kind of embrace the savage Hulk as well as the smart Hulk, and kind of be brutal in order to get through, instead of being a scientist trying to get through. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think, I think that's a perfect setup. But back to She-Hulk. Just all the little things, and we do get some little Infinity War backstory. Like, Tony used to hang out here and drink a lot while he complained about Steve during the blip.
Yeah.
So a little bit of social interaction there. It's like, no, I can't wait to see what comes next. I mean, we know what's going to come next, but now we got to see like how it's going to develop. And
did you catch the QR code Easter egg on the wall when she goes into the bar to use the washroom? It's
no.
Yeah, you scan it and it brings you the free digital copy of the first She-Hulk comic.
Oh,
from 1980. Yeah, it's right there on the wall. I'm like, oh man, another one. I think they did that before. I can't remember which one.
I like when she's in the bathroom and the girls come in and, oh, you don't need him, and they pull out an extra pair of shoes. Like, who has an extra pair of stripper shoes in their bag?
Yeah, and that whole I'm calling this episode Cheetos and Chopsticks. There is a kind of a Marvel connection there, because Oscar Isaac in 2016, a photo of him went viral where he was doing just that, eating Cheetos with chopsticks. So I don't know if that's a Moon Knight Oscar Isaac reference, but that photo is out there. And
everything about this this show is so far. I mean, if they had given us all 9, I would have been done.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like I said, I immediately watched it twice. And Titania, I'm surprised she showed up at the end, but reading up on her, I mean, I'm surprised she went down so easily, because apparently she's a match in the comics anyway. She's a match for the She-Hulk in strength, but I guess we'll look into that later.
Well, I think she put her down fast just because she wasn't expecting that. She was expecting to be the strongest one in the room, and then all of a sudden, who the hell are you? Whack. Caught her off guard. But yeah, well, I mean, like I said, when watching the trailer, that whole thing with Titania, I thought that was going to be a huge, massive fight. So that's going to be like in an episode later on, that kind of thing. Just a little at the end of the thing. Okay, here you go.
Yeah, well, undoubtedly she'll escape from police custody.
Yeah, because like I was expecting her to like go back to her job, right? Go back to her life. Talk to her friend and talk to, and fight being She-Hulk. And it doesn't come until like that moment where she let's go. But I thought we'd be a couple episodes in before we got that. So
yeah.
No, bravo Marvel though. They packed a lot into like a 30-minute
Yeah, how about the good their good news he shares with her about they can drink as much as they want and not get drunk. They all buzz, no barf.
But you still get the Hulk size hangover.
Yeah. You definitely should have mentioned that one. Like I would have been gung ho too. Like, all right.
But you know what? That was again that plays into that whole sibling rivalry thing, right? Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you still get the hangover.
Yeah. Smug
Hulk. The air horn in the morning.
Yeah.
All the teasing.
Smug Hulk. Smart Hulk.
Her outdoing him in a lot of things, especially like the yoga stuff where he's like balancing on her hand, and that he like he did to Thor in Avengers. He pops her off the cliff and she gives him the finger going down. No, everything about this show is great. So it's like, I hope they maintain this level of I guess you could say, deliciousness of
Yeah.
content.
Considering we haven't had a whole TV show since what, the late 70s, early 80s. I mean,
Exactly. So
now the effects are there. So hey,
yeah. And did she looked? I mean, the second trailer that we saw. I mean, there was a little bit of fussiness on the first trailer. The second trailer was really good. Like her movements, everything was just so perfect.
yeah. I mean, she's a great actress. I didn't watch a lot of Orphan Black, but I know she was playing like 13 people in that show. So there's no way that she wasn't going to do good in this show, right? I mean, she's a solid actress.
Exactly.
So very, very well suited for the role, I found.
Yeah. Now it's like, we're going to be salivating for Daredevil to show up. And I hope he shows up like earlier instead of later. Like it be the last scene of the last episode and there's Daredevil. You know what I mean?
Yeah. At least he's in costume, unlike the last Spider-Man movie where he's in his lawyer. But I'm sure it's going to hopefully it's just more than a brief cameo because he's a lawyer too, right? So
yeah, exactly. like they're on the same case. He's one side, she's the other, and they end up like investigating the same thing, and they both show up because that would be really cool.
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to this show.
Yeah, big time. So big thumbs up.
Yep, huge thumbs up. And so let me just say something about Moneyball, then I'll ask what you thought. Because even when I saw it the first time, like I think you could put 10 writers, lock 10 writers in a room for a year, and none of them would have come up with a story. And don't forget, this story is like 100% true. Like it's Billy Bean, and he should have gone he should have gone ninth in the anyway. Let's ask before we start. Like, did you like the story? Because it's all true.
No, I thought it was a good movie, but although I wouldn't consider this a baseball movie.
Well, no, there wasn't much. Yeah, a lot of it was archival footage too of the actual A's playing.
Yeah,
but for story wise,
this was a movie about Billy Bean and how he wanted to make his team better, but it really didn't reflect. It wasn't about baseball. It was about doing things differently. Okay, for me, like a baseball movie includes the players. Like we got just a hint of Chris Pratt and the other the older guy Justice there. We just got hints of them in their thing. And you got Chris Pratt's big home run at the end, which brought him up to 20 in a row. But see, I would have liked to have seen, for me, it would have been better. Like, okay, I want to see their struggle, especially Chris Pratt going from catcher to first base. I want to see him go through all that. I guess you could say exercise of coping with trying to change position and trying to get there. The other guy being older, him pushing his way through in order to get, in order to play to the level that he needs to play in order to inspire the rest of the team.
Well, no, they didn't show much of. Yeah, they didn't show much of Dave Justice's arc and how he's supposed to be. Like he has one brief kitchen conversation with.
Exactly, like that was it.
What's your biggest fear? The ball being hit towards me. Okay, no, seriously, yeah. No, I am serious. But they did a little bit of the Chris Pratt. Like I even like when they went to recruit him. For I've never played first base. It's not hard. Tell him. The guy's like, it's incredibly hard.
Yeah. But even still, like I said, those little snippets were just part of it. Like. Yeah. For me, like the GM, trying to build a team
without any
not
money,
necessarily of the best players,
without any
but
money,
the players that work.
They're competing against the Yankees, 120 million, salary cap, and they lose their best players to the Yankees, but it actually wasn't Jonah Hill character Peter Brand. At first they make you think it was his idea. It wasn't. They actually mentioned Bill James in the movie near the end, and the owner of the Red Sox says he's hired him. He's the guy that came up with this. He was working in a cannery factory, pork and beans, and everyone of course ridiculed him for this, like statistics and all that, Yeah. But
I mean, to me, this reminded me of the movie Miracle about the 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team.
Yeah, but in this
right?
case, yeah, true. But in this case, like if you ask me, I was in Indonesia or the Bahamas in 2002. If you asked me at the time, the amount of games baseball players play more than in the NHL, more than the NBA, I would have thought a 20 win streak was common. Like I had no idea that was such a huge thing until you watch the movie and go, oh,
Right.
okay, I guess it is hard to win 20 in a row, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it worked. But like Billy Bean says in the movie, he couldn't even rest on his laurels because what does it matter? We could win 20 more. If you don't win the last game of the year, which is the World Series, then it's all for nothing. They're going to say this was a joke, and of course, that's what happens, right? They lose
Right.
again. The announcer, the voiceover says exactly that. Baseball is not about statistics; it's about intuition. And then the heartbreaking thing. Did you read the end credits there? When he turned down Boston's offer, what
Yeah.
happened?
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
that's because he made a decision based on money when he was younger, right? He skipped Stanford with a scholarship. I mean, like I'm saying, you could have made this up, like the poor guy. And then he asked Peter Brand, "Would you have drafted me number one?" He goes, "No, you would have went ninth without a signing bonus," and he's had to live with that ever since. So that brought him to turning down 12.5 million from the Red Sox. And
Yeah, at
of
the
course
time he
they
was the
won 2
highest
years
paid
later.
GM.
Yes, and they won 2 years later with the same system. So that to me that was like the most heartbreaking thing about the movie was that.
Yeah, but like I said,
solid cast. No, I mean you can't. Everyone's
oh, it
excellent.
was a solid
Philip
cast
Seymour
and everything.
Hoffman.
But for me, it was just kind of like, okay, this is just about statistics. It has nothing to do with baseball.
No, it's just a story. It's a story about baseball, and it's not.
Well,
like
it takes place in a baseball realm, but
Yeah.
it's not necessarily about baseball.
No, it's not a major league movie or or a league of their own. No, where they actually show the players.
See, for me, it's about the player struggle as well. Like if you took the comedy out of Major League, then it would have been Moneyball. But a better one because it it was more about the players coming together as well as management. It's about, and like I said, it refers, for me, it was more, I saw like a lot of miracle in there where, he was trying to pick the right players, not the best players. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, but in that movie, you saw both sides. You saw the players struggle as well as the coaches struggle. And, trying to answer for everything and trying to, break the, I guess you could say, norm of how these things are done, which is what exactly they were trying to do in this movie, right? They were trying to break the norm. The scouts were all like
all the old school scouts. But how funny was that first conference table meeting? Like, he's got a good face. The best line was, he's got an ugly girlfriend. So what? That means he has no confidence. I mean, they actually say shit like this. The scouts. He's ugly girlfriend means he has no confidence. Oh my God. But yeah, no, that's then of course they were pushing against it. I mean, this is the way we've been doing it for years. Billy, what do you think you're doing?
Well, because it kind of throws into their face all the experience they've got, it's sort of negating it, right?
Yeah, the hours that they've spent away from their families on the road watching players, right? Sitting through 9 innings. I mean,
and because this young kid from Yale with a degree in economics comes in and throws all these stats out, and it's like, it's about, what the fuck do you know? You know what I mean? Like, you're not out here. You don't know these things. I can look at a player and know how he's going to be. And you just come in here and tell me like this? How dare you? Like...
Why do you like him? He gets on base. You want me to speak? Yeah, when I point at you, yes.
No, like I said, it was a good movie. There's and all that, but for me, I don't feel it was a baseball movie. It was about Billy Bean's journey and how he went. He accomplished something, but then in the end never got to where he wanted to get.
Yeah, could have, but since he based one decision on money when he was younger, he only had to wait 2 years and he would have won the series, right? But and the A's never did under his tutorship. So
No.
but he did make good money. He's worth $20 million. I looked it up, and he was making about $3 million a year as the general manager. So
Yeah.
so he was still a millionaire, guys. Okay, he just turned down a lot of money.
And had the whole aspect with his daughter, and he's trying. It's basically him trying to balance his life and trying to, I guess you could say, come to terms with what his career was. Right?
Yeah.
So, but overall, it's still a good movie.
Yeah.
Wouldn't call it a favorite baseball movie, but
No.
I know it's yours.
No. It's probably my third. I still put League of Their Own first, Major League second, and then this one. All right, let's get into some Vox Machina.
Yes.
So
you tell me what'd you think? What'd you think?
Well, I didn't hate it. I like the animation, okay, but I know Critical Role, so you knew these guys way before they even did.
Well,
this show.
I got to know these guys after I saw the series.
Oh, but I thought you knew them through D&D.
No.
Before.
I saw an ad for this. I saw the trailer, and I was like, okay, this looks interesting. And I watched it, and I became, I loved the story. I loved the fact, little gnomes going, what the fuck is going on?
Scanlan.
Scanlan. You gotta love Scanlan.
Yeah,
I figured you would love Scanlan.
Oh, his songs are very a lot of sexual innuendo in the lyrics there. So,
Did you get up to the one where he talks about his beads?
Yeah. Not those guys. Yeah, no, I got to the point just where they that evil couple there, she resurrects the dead to go back and get her book. So that's the fourth episode I saw up until that. But the beads were were mentioned.
You love my motherfucking beads.
Yeah.
As he's smearing, I don't know, was it potatoes or whatever all over his body? It was.
Yeah.
No,
and it's always nice hearing Carrie Payton. He plays Sovereign Uriel.
Yep.
He's from famously Ezekiel on The Walking Dead, so it's always nice to hear his.
Well,
voice.
they had a huge cast. I mean, General Krieg was David Tennant.
Yep. Yeah, and Stephanie Beatrice was Lady Kima of Lord, and I know later on Gina Torres from Firefly shows up.
Yeah, so it's like. Even Dominic Monaghan, we got a Hobbit in there.
Yep, Rory McCann, the Hound from Game of Thrones, plays Duke Vedmeyer.
Well, I mean, it keeps getting better as you go along. I hope you continue and finish it. But I mean, it's
it's easy to watch.
It is, and it's entertaining. And a lot of what's going on is actually what happened in their home game when this was going on. So it's kind of like.
I read a bit up on that, and I think one of the Ashley Johnson who plays Pike, I think isn't she part of Critical Role? I think.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, she's been in quite a few movies. She was in Avengers. She was Mel Gibson's daughter in What Women Want.
Yeah.
She was also the voice of Ellie in Last of Us.
Yeah.
So they've all had some big roles. I think a few of them even voiced in Resident Evil.
Yeah. That's right.
But no, I loved the story. I loved how the characters interacted with each other, and just like that. The whole bar fight was funny.
Yeah, I mean, I even watched. This would make if there's a way to do it, a good live action thing too.
I'm sure there are people begging for this.
Well, it could work.
Critical Role's got millions of followers, so it's like.
What
was your favorite? What was your favorite part of it so far?
Well, I don't know. I like more of the action, like the Briarwoods. Like to me they're intriguing because you don't often see a couple like that. Like know, what's their deal? So it was more like I want to know more about Silas and the Liar Briarwood and see if I don't know if there's an episode of backstory with But I like that in the flashbacks to. Where his family got killed. What's his name? Percy. Yeah. I mean, that all to me was all interesting, Yeah.
What's fun is they did two storylines in the first season. You had the first two episodes where the fighting the Blue Dragon, and then the rest is the whole Briarwood storyline. So, but I love. I mean, for me, it was just like when they decide they're going to take up this job as mercenaries to thing, and they realize they're fighting a dragon and they are way over their heads. But by the end of the first episode, when they find the village that they just came from got destroyed, and the kid that Vax gave the coin to died, and it's like, no, we're killing them, we're going. It's like, for me, I loved that aspect of it, and it just that whole cave fight scene was good too.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know. It's I don't know how many episodes.
What do you want to do? Go up and say, "Hey, Dragon Man, we don't know what the fuck we're doing."
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I know they formed a Kickstarter. I mean, they raised $750,000 in 45 days just to get a single half-hour, animated episode.
Yeah, but when they went for the series, they got $1 million in the first 24 hours.
Yeah, exactly. So I like that do-it-yourself aspect, of this gang,
Yeah, well, I mean, they relied very much on what they knew, the people that they knew and whatnot, and they just
and I get a Castlevania vibe, which is good too, because I like Castlevania.
Oh, trust me, as it goes on, it gets even darker, and if you like that, you'll really like what's going on, because I mean, it's a lot about Percy and going back to Whitestone, and I guess you saw a little bit of that in the
Yeah, they showed when killed his sister.
Yeah, but I mean, when the Briarwoods escape, and you see him put on the mask and shoot off the guy's hand, and that plague mask thing and the smoke. There's a lot more to it, but it really, really, really like if you like the darkness of it all, trust me, it gets worse. It goes even darker than that. So it's like,
okay, good.
Saddle up, boy, because you're in for it.
Yeah. Good to know.
Yeah, no, it's definitely. I mean, Amazon picked them up for 2 seasons, so I think they're working on season 2 now.
Yeah,
and one of actually Kevin Smith's partner, Mark Bernardin, was an executive producer on it too.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, no, they have a lot of like featurettes on YouTube, and they talked about the writers of Vox Machina and everything, and they showed the writers' room and how the cast interacted with the writers to get all the good tidbits of everything that they did over that first campaign. Because I mean, the first campaign was like 300 hours.
Yeah.
So they had to really, pick, condense, maybe rewrite a little bit, how that went, and you could see a lot of it. And they talk about there's a whole bunch of things where they talk about to the cast, and you get to see all the cast that we just mentioned. Your lady friend from Game of Thrones, she was extremely enthralled with playing these characters and the story.
Which one?
So, one that played Lady Kima? Or was it?
No. Well, Stephanie. Well, Stephanie Beatriz. I mean, I love her from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, but Lady Kima Vord, yeah, Stephanie. Or you mean Indira Varma, Lady Allura?
Yes, Lady Allura. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
we last saw in Obi-Wan.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she was completely enthralled with the story and just loved it. And like I said, they have little featurettes on the making of the theme song, the cast, the writing, everything. So it's just, like I said, after I saw the show and I got to like you were doing, researching and seeing what it was all about. That I just love the story. I started watching because all of their campaigns are on YouTube and Twitch. Like, you can go back and watch them all, and like to watch them do it as they go along was kind of really interesting and fun too. So it was, yeah. I like these guys. I like their characters. I love how when they're playing their game, they're in character, voice wise. So it's like, oh, this would be a whole lot of fun to do.
Yeah, it would.
And hats off to Matt Mercer. He's the one that voiced Silas. Silas Briarwood.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's the dungeon master of the group, and he voiced a whole lot of those characters in their campaign. So like Gilmore's Glorious Goods.
Yeah.
He was the first. Then these all the NPCs from their thing just became like characters in the show, and it was like, I sit there and I watch how many voices this guy does, and it's just like, oh Jesus. I mean, I thought I was kind of like puffed up on, I can do the Joker, like, yeah. I need about 200 more voices in order to come anywhere near these guys. So there we go.
All right. Well, also next week we'll have the Game of Thrones latest offering, House of the Dragon on HBO. So we'll have She-Hulk.
For those of you waiting for it, Top Gun Maverick out on digital next Tuesday.
Yep. Coming to Paramount.
So gotta rewatch that a few hundred times.
And we got the new, I don't know if you watched the first Enola Holmes movie with Millie Bobby Brown. Did you watch it on Netflix?
I didn't, but I'm kind of curious now because
the second one's coming out November 4th. Wasn't bad. Henry Cavill is actually Sherlock, but Enola Holmes is obviously the star of the movie. So the sequel was coming out November 4. American Gigolo with John Bernthal on Star. So they made a TV series based on the Richard Gere movie. That's coming out September 11.
Yeah. What else we got at the end of August? Something coming out.
Well, The Samaritan. I don't know if you saw the trailer for Samaritan with Sylvester Stallone. That's coming out on the 25th.
Yep. Yeah. No, that looked interesting.
Yeah, kind of an aging superhero that
lost faith, lost touch.
Yeah, everyone thought he died, but he still got it.
Yeah, it's Stallone. He's always got it. Come on.
Yeah. Well, he has a show coming out on Paramount Plus also November 13 called The Tulsa King. Basically, it's a mafia movie set in Oklahoma. So I know. So he's got 2 things coming out. And,
it kind of reminds me, like from the movie Casino, like all the Midwestern bosses all accumulated in Kansas City.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, no.
And of course, there's a Mark Wahlberg, Kevin Hart movie called Meat Time coming out on Netflix on the 26th. Obviously, comedy.
You kind of have to be. With Kevin Hart, he can't be serious about anything.
That's right.
Did you see the tortilla slap between him and The Rock?
Yeah. I've seen.
They got to keep that mouthful of water.
Yeah, well, I think there's a better challenge now. There's these guys on Instagram and TikTok, 2 guys that basically fill both their mouths with water, and they watch really, really bad, horrendous videos of, I don't know, people getting injured or anyway. I don't want to spoil it, but so the idea is who's gonna blow it first, who's gonna laugh first, So I think it was based off those 2 guys. But yeah,
so it was basically the tortilla challenge crossed with Jackass.
What was funny with that Rock video is the size of The Rock and Kevin Hart, and The Rock was worried that Kevin Hart was going to hit him with his hand instead of the tortilla. I'm like,
hold the end.
Really,
you don't hold the.
Yeah, really, Black Adam. I mean, come on,
When does Black Adam come out?
I don't know if they have it. It's not even on my list. I don't even know if they set a release date yet for it. Now that they are going into rehab, we might get the Flash movie. So I'm wondering how much money they threw at Ezra Miller to do that because he was happy thumbing his nose at the law there for quite a long time. So with
Yeah,
what
they
with the
canceled
recent
Batgirl, but
yeah,
hey,
well,
let's
yeah,
still release
well,
the Flash.
the whole studio would have went under if they canceled the. So they obviously they had to do something. I'm curious what they offered him. Probably life-changing money. Because now
I
it's
mean,
okay. Now he's in rehab. We can release the
did,
movie.
did they talk about why they canceled Batgirl? Did they give a specific
Well,
reason,
no, it's
or
a lot of he said, she said. I don't think we'll ever get a straight answer until a couple of years from now. But no, it's a lot of like it tested poorly and like, no, it didn't. It's not really the direction we want to go in. Yeah, right. Which is like, really? It's shot and in the can. You spent 90 million, so I prefer to believe it's the latter where it just wasn't testing well at all. And they have a mess on their hands. They figured it would be better not to release it.
I mean, how bad would it have to be in order for them to not release it?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw Suicide Squad 2 and or maybe they're just sitting there going, we don't want to make that same mistake again.
Yeah. Well, that's all I got, sir.
All right. We see any trailers lately?
Nothing major anyway.
All right, then. You can find us on social media. You can search YouTube, Butcher Bay Rejects. You can on Twitter, @Bay Rejects. On Facebook, @Butcher Bay Rejects, as well as TikTok, @Butcher Bay Rejects. And our website, butcherbayrejects.com. And we're also on all the podcast platforms, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Alexa Tune In, Amazon Music. This has been Butcher Bay Rejects. I am Mark.
I'm Greg. See you next week, nerds.
Have a good one. Bye.